What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dream a Little. I'm your host, Lo, and today's episode is a little bit different than the norm. Today, we've got Dan on the show who exclusively dates within the ABDL community, so I was really excited to hear about his experiences. If you're one of those people who hasn't tried to date within the community, trust me, I get you. I feel like we don't hear about a lot of people like Dan often, and I feel like I know why. I used to feel this way too, and I had 5 reasons I didn't want to date within the community, and maybe you can relate to them. The first reason I didn't want to date within the community was because I didn't think I would find someone I would connect with on a vanilla level. I didn't think I'd be able to find someone nearby, and I didn't want to do long distance. I didn't think I'd find someone I was physically attracted to. I thought it was way too risky to put myself out there. And when I finally did make a kink account, I had no idea what to post or how to approach people, and almost every message I sent got ignored. So can you relate? Trust me, I've been there and I get it, but I think we can all agree that being able to experience this kink with another ABDL we're attracted to on a physical, vanilla, and kink level sounds pretty great, right? I know this isn't my usual advice, but if you're single, please don't rule out trying to date another ABDL. It's possible to find someone you're attracted to and connect with on a vanilla level. And so I encourage you to network and reach out to other ABDLs in a respectful way, of course. A lot of you guys message me on Instagram from your vanilla profiles, and you tell me how you want to find a mommy, but you're living as a spectator on the sidelines and you're not findable. So today I want to encourage you to consider making a kink profile, whether it's on Tumblr, FetLife, or Instagram, so people within the community can find you and connect with you. Instagram's where I met my boy, and it's becoming a very popular place to connect with other age players. And the great thing is you don't need to post pictures of you in diapers or post pictures of you exposing your face. I mean, just take a look at my Instagram. I'm at Daddy I Want This. I've got almost 22,000 followers, and I have never shown my face, and I haven't posted a picture of me in diapers in years. So my whole point here is you don't have to risk it all to reach out to people. You can post content without exposing yourself. Today, our guest Dan is going to help you with the rest by sharing how he connects with other ABDLs on a genuine level without coming off as icky or desperate. I think you're going to really love this episode. If you follow me on Tumblr, you know I'm a big fan of his content. He posts the cutest pictures, so be sure to follow him. You can find a link to his Tumblr and Instagram in the show notes of this episode at thelittlelounge.com/161. That's thelittlelounge.com/161. You'll also find a preview of my Nurturing Mommy roleplay there. I post a new episode every Monday, and I make 2 different versions, one for boys and one for girls, so everyone is included. Again, that's thelittlelounge.com/161. All right, this is a super long intro. I won't make you wait any longer. Let's dive in. What's up, Dan? How's it going?
Going pretty good. How about you?
Oh, hanging in here with all this quarantine stuff going on.
Yep. Hopefully we'll see the end before we know it.
It's looking like things are turning around so far, so that's good.
Yep.
So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you identify as within, the whole ABDL realm?
Yeah. So honestly, it's really changed a lot, from when I was first introduced to it. So when I was first into it, it was more of the DL side of it, and just, experimenting with that. And then it slowly, transitioned to where, I liked being the more dominant and submissive size as, both little and a daddy. But it's more of a little to me now. So it's definitely still, changing daily. But, like I said, I really identify more as a little than anything.
Okay. So do you have a partner who kind of you participate with, or is this kind of like a solo thing?
Yeah, I do. I've had a couple that I have participated with, and there's one now that I'm pretty close with, and we've really developed a lot. Been helping me make aware of where I'm at, and she's kind of pushed me to different boundaries. So it's been great.
That's exciting. That's fun. Okay, so how did you meet her?
Online, yeah. So about everybody I've met has been, through multiple online platforms. Just that's, a lot more, comforting knowing that someone else is already, interested in that type of thing. So it's really helped me kind of, get out of my shell a lot. So
are we talking like Instagram and Tumblr here, like the typical kink social media profiles?
Yep, those are the two that I'm on.
Okay, so it seems like you would be a fan of, recommending people who are listening right now as like spectators to start a kink Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really helped me, not even in just in this side of me, but in my personal life too. Whenever you have an outlet like this to connect with other people on this side of you, and, it helps with every part of your life. Helps you be more confident. It helps you have that time where you can be little or be a daddy or a mommy or whatever the case may be. It just makes you a lot healthier mentally.
I could see that. I really like that. It's kind of self-affirming to be actually inside the community and active in it, right? Like posting and contributing to it. Do you ever worry that someone will stumble upon your profile that you know in real life?
All the time. That's definitely a normal part of it. But everything that I do, I try to be as private about it as I can. While still getting out there and meeting new people. I've definitely gained confidence the longer I've been on social media. So it's definitely a delicate balance, but I'm definitely glad that I'm doing it.
Yeah, I am too. It's led me to meet a lot of people. I mean, of course, you're going to have some difficult people to deal with. I don't know if as a guy you experience something similar where people are just like either way too forward or just kind of creepy in their approach.
Absolutely, it's kind of that's just part of it. You gotta there'll always be some things like that goes on, but whenever you find people that you can really connect with, it's definitely all worth it, and you can kind of push aside those people that are not very I don't know how to put it.
Socially aware of how to approach people, I guess is kind of the way
Yeah.
to put it. Like the kind of people that reach out and they're like asking you about your diaper and stuff, and you're like, okay, like this is just getting weird real quick. So,
It's like, yeah, for sure.
so it seems like you've had some success with meeting people, and I'm just wondering, did you approach her? Did you send the first message yourself, or did she approach you?
I did. I was the one that originally had approached her, and then she noticed that I was different, than just talking about, hey, be my mommy, or I want to talk to you. I approached it more of like just like a normal friend you would, and then of course we knew we had that those same interests there. I mean, you just don't want to bring that up the first message that you send.
Yeah, it just comes off like a little bit, I guess, desperate. Like, like all you want is to find a caregiver and you don't really care about who that person is, and what they're all
Yeah,
about.
yeah, certainly. I mean, I don't, you can't really have a connection with somebody that you can't get to know on a personal level, like, because there's nothing to talk about.
Right. And that's what I didn't get that like years ago before I ever started my Instagram. I had a FetLife and I reached out to so many people and I just didn't know what to say. I mean, it's hard to think about like, how do I reach out to someone and like, what do I say in the first message? And I would just be like, hey, want to be friends? And it's like that, like people would definitely not think that I was a real person, like on my profile, like, hey, want to be friends? Like you wouldn't just walk up to someone in person and just be like, hey, want to be my friend? you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So do you experience that, or like did you in the beginning where it was kind of hard and maybe you're not getting back replies to your messages? Do you know what I mean? Or have you always been kind of good at crafting that first message?
Yeah, it's definitely at the beginning. Of course, I didn't know what to do, or being new to it and new to the whole social media thing within this, kink. But yeah, you kind of learn by the responses you get, and then of course I've learned a lot from people that have reached out to me as well. Just knowing what not to say more than anything.
Totally
So
true.
it helps narrow it down some, and it makes you relax and make you feel like you belong.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you remember what your first message to her was?
Not really. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, with just like nothing to do with anything with kink wise. Just saying that you've been a follower of them and you really appreciate what their contact and kind of their outlook on things. So just, some general stuff like that. And, it just goes from there.
Sounds like you were just kind of letting her know that you appreciated the content that she posted and just giving her a genuine compliment. I think that's a good way to start things off without becoming creepy, right? Like the compliment can get creepy depending on how you do it.
Yeah. Just letting them know you can relate to them. You feel the same way, and you just feel like you align really well with them, basically.
Right. Are you guys long distance?
We are. Yep.
Okay, so how's that going? I mean, I know it's been tough for me and my boy to be so far away. At what point do you decide to, meet in person? Like you trust that person enough to make that next step?
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. And of course it'll be different for everybody, but I think a lot of it just has to do with whenever, you can really connect with them personally. They start telling you about, normal aspects of their everyday life, and, just what's happening, and whenever their real emotions, outside of all this stuff, whenever y'all start talking about that and, relating to each other in that way. And of course, the more you talk and the more you have in common, the more excited you'll be, not just for the kink side of things, but definitely for that side as well. But
yeah,
just to meet that person, in a normal atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about being comfortable, right? I mean, it's a gut feeling too, I think. If someone's not right for you, or if something's not right with the situation, I feel like you do get a gut feeling from it. And then there's some people that you're just drawn to for some reason, that you feel like you can trust them.
Absolutely. And you, like you said, I can always kind of feel that vibe or not pretty quickly. No, not, within the first day of, talking to somebody, you kind of know whether you'll generally get along, or, if something's, not right, or it just doesn't, go well. It's pretty easy to find that.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, I hate giving advice like that. Like, just go with your gut feeling, but it is a real thing. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like your intuition tells you, like, if it's right or if it's wrong. And if it's wrong, like, turn around, go the other way, cancel, get out. Like I've heard some horror stories of people, getting blackmailed and getting used by certain mommies, and like right away mommies are asking them to like send them money, and I'm like, those are the kind of red flags that you got to be. I know you want to find a mommy really bad, but like you got to be on the lookout for that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like I said, it's really easy to tell, their intentions early on. Yeah.
Like based on what they're saying and things that they've told you about their past, I guess. I mean, you got to take everything when you're meeting someone virtually, and like you can't just trust everything that everyone says right away. Right,
absolutely. And whenever you take the time to get to know them, if they're actually taking the time to get to know you, and a lot of it has to do with where each of you are leading the conversation. If you're gonna lead it straight into change me and all this stuff, it's like, that's probably not where you want to go to start with.
No, definitely not. Have you two met in person?
We have met twice so far for a pretty decent amount of time, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so come on, that's got to be nerve-wracking the first time, though, right?
Of course, it always is and always will be. But the excitement is just overpowers that.
Absolutely. So was it everything that you were hoping it would be?
Yeah, it was everything I was hoping it would be. A little bit more, and of course, it was a little different.
Yeah. So you guys are both switches?
No. So she is mainly just a mommy. I'm a switch, but we don't really have that dynamic between us at this point. I've explored with some other people. We've talked about kind of what's going to happen in the future and those things, but that's something that just you want to take time to develop. What you're both really comfortable with before you start diving into like the next thing.
Absolutely. So that seems like a good combination if you mainly identify as little and she's mainly a mommy.
Yeah, it's worked out well so far, and it can be helpful, being long distance as well, just because you can have that distance and kind of do whatever you want outside of that relationship as well.
And then you appreciate it more when you get to see them a little bit less. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
absence
of
makes the heart
course.
grow fonder. So when you're only spending a limited amount of time together, it's like super exciting and super thrilling. Not that it doesn't come with its own challenges being
Right.
long distance. So do you guys have like an open kind of dynamic?
So far, yeah. We're exploring and seeing what works and what doesn't work. It's hard to tell at first, but we're slowly developing in to what we want to do and where we want to be at.
Just taking it slow.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. That's really cool. That's really mature. So you've actually experienced ABDL stuff before this, though, in real life.
I have. A lot of those weren't, as you would say, what I hoped and dreamed of. But I got that the first couple times out of my system.
Okay, we have to talk about that.
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, there's definitely been a handful of people before her that I have spoke to and met in person. Some of them hard to describe, but some of them have been I wouldn't say bad decisions, but learning moments.
I see.
A couple of them, and then a couple of them, we've had good relationships, and it's helped me in the long run as well. So I definitely appreciate those.
Did you find that was more of a friendship connection there than anything?
Yeah, a little bit of friendship, and then also just our personalities didn't quite go together. Of course, I'm leaning towards more of a little, and if some of those are leaning more towards little, it becomes kind of a difficult balance of okay, well, who's going to be little and who's going to be big at this moment, and it's just I want to be little, but no one wants to say it, so it can have a little bit of awkwardness if you don't fit together really well.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta be able to balance it. So it's like, not only is it a little bit challenging to find someone who's into ABDL, it's like not every ABDL is gonna be right for you just because they also have this kink. There's so many different intricacies of inside of this and different preferences for what people like. Like people always ask me, what does it take to be a good mommy? And I'm like, it really just depends on who you're talking to. Everybody likes something different, you know. My style isn't going to be for everyone. Some people like really mean mommies and some people, like it's everything under the sun. So I mean, it's good that
Certainly.
you had those experiences and you learn from them and you learn, it sounds like, what probably isn't a best fit for you.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced some of those, and in the moment, you can definitely tell, like, this isn't something that I want to, keep pursuing. Like I'm a gentle person, and I don't like, the harsher the BDSM type things, and pain and all that stuff. So I learned really quickly, by some experiences that I've had, that's, not necessarily what I want to pursue most of the time.
Did you know that before you tried it? Are you just kind of the type of person that's like, I'm going to try anything just to see what it's like, and then you're like, okay, well, that was a good try, but not for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely try anything. I think I learned to be open to anything by being into the ABDL stuff. That's not what everybody's into, and it's by far not a normal thing. So you can't. It's hard to say no to if you haven't experienced those things in our situation.
Absolutely. And I have experienced that as well. Before I was mommying my boy, I would, take care of other littles here and there casually. But even our kinks, even though we were both into ABDL, like they just didn't match up because they wanted to like play someone who was like a little bit older in age and being forced into diapers and being punished, and like they really liked me to be mean to them, and that's just not my personality. And it's not like there was anything wrong with that person. It just wasn't a good fit, for my kinks. Even though you'd go, well, they're into ABDL, I'm into ABDL, diapers are
Yeah.
diapers, but it's like, no, that's not really the case.
Right. Yeah. And if you're not comfortable enough with that person and you're not exactly into the same things, you may not be able to let your full self, that side of you, come out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you really can't, because then you're worried about like, am I doing it right for them? And that's like the challenge that I had,
Hmm.
being with someone who's not into ABDL is like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's so much more gratifying when you're role playing with someone who's also into it. I mean, that's just
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
just the
We,
truth.
Right. Whenever they enjoy it, you can both, really just be yourselves in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, because you're both experiencing joy and pleasure from it, and it makes it that much more intense.
Absolutely.
Have you ever converted someone who wasn't into ABDL to ABDL or introduced?
No, I haven't. I have had some experiences with people that were somewhat have thought about it and haven't really tried it. So you're not necessarily introducing them, so to speak, but helping them bring that kind of fantasy into reality. I have done that, and that's been super gratifying as well. But no one that's totally new to the idea.
Was that someone who was maybe into like something similar, like DDLG or pet play or something, and you kind of like took it a step forward with introducing diapers or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this particular individual, she was into the DDLG type of role play, and she had thought about the possibility of diapers, and I had mentioned it, just kind of seeing their thoughts on it, and she was a little bit timid about it, but wanted to try it, so I kind of took the leap for her, and we tried it, and it was really enjoyable for both of us.
Oh, so she actually ended up liking it.
Yeah, she did. She didn't do it as often as a lot of us, may do. It was kind of it was something that it was growing with her. But yeah, I mean, it was something that, we're both glad that we tried.
It seems like early on you kind of realized that you wanted to try to find someone who was already into this.
Yeah, just my personality, the way I am. I couldn't see myself just going out on a total limb with somebody that's vanilla and really developing that relationship with someone like that. Maybe it's a confidence thing, but yeah, I just feel a lot more comfortable, with somebody that's already, at least used to the idea a little bit.
I really like that approach. I feel like more people should be open to that possibility and putting themselves out there, because I mean, it's just so amazing to experience it with someone who's also into it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Dan, for coming on the show. I really enjoyed getting to know you and talking to you about your kinky adventures.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Bye.